Hello my beautiful friends, it's Amanda here, and today we're doing something just a little bit silly, a little bit fun. I've seen a lot of people on YouTube making videos where they mix all of their foundations, and I was so intrigued by it. I watched a few of those videos and I just thought I had to try it. I think this is such an interesting idea. For some people it turns out well, others not so much. I chose not to use all of my foundations. I just chose 8 of my favorites. And I'm also kind of putting a twist on this. I mixed together 8 of my favorite concealers as well. And before anybody gets upset about this being wasteful, this is how much foundation I made. Okay? This is gonna be what I usually put all over my face. I just took a little drop of each one of the foundations, so nothing's going to waste, don't you worry. This actually looks like a pretty good color, doesn't it? First, I'm gonna show you my mixing process, and then I'll apply this to my face and see how it performs. First, I'm starting with a few drops of the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Foundation. I use the shade 202 Creamy Natural. Next up is the Bourjois Healthy Mix Foundation in shade 52 Vanilla. Now, one of my all-time favorite foundations to mix, this is the No. 7 Airbrush Away Foundation in Warm Ivory. Of course, MAC Next to Nothing in Light Plus. This is another one I love to mix to sheer out foundations. Next up is the Cover FX Natural Finish Foundation in N20. I don't like this on its own, but I do like it mixed with other foundations. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Nude Water Fresh Makeup in 2N1 Desert Beige. The current favorite from NARS, the Natural Radiant Longwear, I use the shade Light 4.5 Vienna. And a classic favorite, the Too Faced Born This Way Foundation, I use the shade Ivory. Here they are all dropped into the bowl, and now I'm gonna mix them up. This was really fun and really satisfying. I recommend doing this challenge just so that you get to mix together all your foundations. And this is what they look like once they're all blended together. Looks like a pretty good shade, I think. Now I'm moving on to concealers. I'm starting with the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. This is a shade Light Neutral, number 15. And I'm gonna just lay them all out on this little marble tray and then mix them together. This is the MAC Mineralized Concealer in NW15. And the MAC Water Weight Concealer, also in NW15. Next, one of my classic favorites, this is the Urban Decay Naked Weightless Concealer in the shade Light Neutral. This one's getting a little bit too dark for me. I'm pretty pale this winter, but we're gonna even it out with some YSL Touche Eclat Radiance Pen. This is the shade 2.5 Luminous Vanilla. And a little bit of Too Faced Born This Way Concealer. I use the shade Light. Lastly, I'm gonna throw a couple of my favorite drugstore concealers into the mix. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade Fair. And lastly, the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Concealer in the shade Classic Ivory. Here are all 8 concealers lined up. Man, they look crazy different colors, don't they? It was, again, super fun to mix these together. I would totally try this again, just so that I could make this swirly, stripy concealer art. I don't have any primer or anything on my face, just cleaned and moisturized face. I didn't want anything to further mess with my concoction, so let's go ahead and apply this mixture to my face. I'm scared. That color actually doesn't look bad. Other than not using a primer, I'm gonna do my foundation just like I always do. So I'm starting off by just dotting the color all over my face. Definitely gotta go down the neck with this one. Then once all my foundation is applied, I'm gonna use a brush to start to blend it in. This is the Real Techniques buffing brush, and lately I've been choosing this one over the Expert Face brush because I think it gives such a natural and soft look to the skin. Oh my gosh, it looks so good.
Once I finish buffing the foundation into my skin with the brush, I'll go back and build up a little bit more coverage using the foundation mixture that I made.
What the heck? Why does this look so good? Just gonna add a little bit more coverage to a few areas.
I'll go back over those little problem areas and then I'll blend everything together with a damp sponge. Today I'm just using the good old beauty blender. I'm just gonna bounce that over the skin and press the foundation into my face.
See? I used it all. I mean, it's not the absolute best my foundation has ever looked in my life, but it really doesn't look bad at all. For some reason I thought it would be a super weird color. The color looks fantastic. I mean, I know I look pale and washed out, but that's just what I actually look like. Look, guys. It looks so good.
Here's a little close-up of some of my problem areas. If I start to get cakey, it'll be between the eyebrows and around the nose.
Okay, it's concealer time. This is where it could all go terribly wrong because I feel like the foundation actually looks super great. So hopefully this doesn't ruin everything. I'm just gonna take a little bit of my concealer mixture on my finger and apply that.
I'm just using my finger to pat a little bit of that concealer around the under eye area and then quickly blending that out with my damp beauty blender.
That actually looks good.
Now I'm just doing the same thing on the other side, patting that concealer mixture onto the under eye area and then blending it out with my damp sponge. I am going to use this concealer mixture on the rest of my face as well, so on my chin, around my nose, in the middle of my forehead, anywhere that I want to add a little extra highlight, and then of course just blending that all in with my beauty blender.
I just keep laughing because I really thought it was going to be a horror show and it looks great. I don't hate it. I did use the majority of the concealer mixture that I made as well. I mean, there's still some on there, but it's not a lot.
This is a close-up of the concealer on my face once it's been all blended in, and I think it looks pretty darn good, don't you?
I am so shocked with how well this applied. I'm gonna go finish up the rest of my makeup and then we'll see how it looks when it's all finished. This is my face with my makeup finished, and honestly, I'm shocked at how much I love this foundation and the concealer. I thought for sure the concealer was gonna be a total flop, but I think it actually looks really good. I'm kind of sad that I didn't make more of this mixture because I would totally wear this again. I do think that color-wise, texture-wise, it looks really good on the face. However, in the future, I will not be taking the time to mix together 8 foundations and 8 concealers, but it was really fun to give it a try. I typically will mix 2 foundations together just to get the perfect undertone, and sometimes I'll mix something that has more coverage with a more sheer foundation just to get that perfect texture. So I want to know, are you a foundation mixer like I am? Would you ever try this challenge? If you have, leave a comment, let us know how it turned out. Thank you so much for watching this silly fun video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye! Hot mess express today. Hopefully this doesn't suck too badly because I want to film an eyeshadow video too, so we'll see. I'm excited. Looking rough today and every day. The truth hurts. Here I am, Are you a foundation mixture? Are you a foundation mixture? What? Don't have time for this, woman.